Justin, Steve DeShazo from the Freelance Star. A lot has been made of your absence and how the team did and how the team would do going forward. What are your thoughts on that, and what were your feelings about how your team did while you were out?
Wow. I think our team did a tremendous job without me. I guess it feels weird saying that, but I was still there cheering those guys on. It was just a different role that I had to take. But our program is based on something that's bigger than one player. And I knew that we were going to be very successful this season regardless of any one player or injuries that may occur. So I've had total confidence in my team since day one.
Back right.
For each of you guys, TJ Fiorillo, ACC Digital, you need no more motivation ever in March, but you had this team last year and they knocked you out in the Sweet 16 at MSG. What does it mean for you guys to have another shot?
Anthony.
I just think it's a blessing to be in this position that we're in. You know, we're not going to go into this game thinking of as a revenge game or anything like that. We're just going to go out there and play like we want to continue to keep moving on in this tournament. You know, like I said, it's a blessing for us to be here. You know, we got knocked out by Michigan State last year, but like I said, we're not going to take it as a revenge game.
Justin.
We're extremely hungry, regardless of who we play. We know we have an opportunity, and that's what this is all about. March is all about an opportunity, and we're starting to see that on the highest level right now with the upsets that are occurring and teams taking full advantage of their opportunities. So for us to sit here and dwell on what happened last year, it's not going to help us win this game tomorrow. So we're just going to accept what we have to do and go in very hungry and try to come out on top.
To our left.
Aaron McFarling with the Roanoke Times. Anthony, I think it was 16 minutes left that you left that game last year with the ankle injury. You guys were up. How difficult was that for you to have to watch the end of that game? How was the post-game situation for you? And how much have you kind of envisioned getting an opportunity to turn things around this year?
You know, I think that game last year was big for our program. You know, just to continue to make us hungry and want more for this program and want more for each individual player. But I think personally, you know, I think that I really wanted to help my team out there, and I wasn't able to perform the way that I wanted to. You know, and I think that really, in a way, made me a lot more hungry and want to get better. You know, just to know that I could have helped my team and I didn't really do what I needed to do because of an injury. So I think that, if anything, it made me just a lot more hungry.
Back left.
And that's one player that we actually did need at that moment because he started off really well for us.
Bob Winowski from the Detroit News. What was your takeaway from playing Michigan State last year as far as their style of play, and how maybe better equipped will you be this year having gone through it?
Justin.
I think our team has realized that that was a total different team that they had last year. You take away three guys that are playing at the professional level, Keith Appling, Gary Harris, and Adrian Payne. Those are three big-name players that had tremendous years for them last year. But this team, we understand that their system is one that gets out in transition, and just like the teams that we play in our conference, North Carolina, Louisville, teams that like to run in transition, we have to get back and set our defense is very important. And then Valentine and Trice are playing at a high level this year. And they're stepping up and filling those shoes from the guys last year. And we have to make sure that we keeping constant ball pressure on them and not let them get going offensively.
Anthony.
I think it's going to be a physical game, you know, especially in the post. They're really a physical team, and we have to match that physicality from the beginning. And if we don't, we're going to find ourselves in a deficit. So I think we need to be ready from the beginning, focused. I think Dawson and the other interior players that they have, you know, create some challenges for us because of how physical they are, and we're going to have to match that physicality.
Back of the room under the light.
This is for Anthony and Justin. Anthony, you said it was big for your program last year to play in a game like that in Sweet 16. You guys have made, I think when you made the tournament, you've made 4 Sweet 16s in a row. You have to play teams like Michigan State, these storied programs. How big for the program to get over that hump to beat teams like Michigan State, specifically with the history that they've had in the tournament?
Switch at Anthony first.
You know, I think it's time for this program to take the next step. And, you know, I think that means to go past the Sweet 16, you know, and I think that we have the players to be able to do that. We have the coaching staff. We have the system to be able to do it. And we all have the want to and the will to be able to do it. So it's just up to us really, and I think it'll be great to bring something special back to Charlottesville and to the UVA fans.
Justin.
Yeah, it's definitely important for us to take that next step. Kind of to piggyback off of what Anthony says is we're just going to try to stay hungry and keep trying to achieve more. Last year we got to a point where we were thankful, we're satisfied that we got there, but we want more, and hopefully this year we can give ourselves that opportunity.
Once again to the left.
Aaron McFarling, Roanoke Times again. Justin, a couple days ago you described Anthony admiringly as a junkyard dog. Can you expand on that a little bit more, and given this matchup and what he said about the physical nature of it, and just how important he is for this team?
He's very physical. He thrives off the physicality of games like this. Like I said, 15 and in is his wheelhouse, even though he can step out and shoot the three in practice. But no one needs to know all of that. But when he has it in the low post and he's taking his time, we have full confidence in what he can do down there, even defensively as well, going against guys like where he's going to have to see Dawson tomorrow, and he's just an animal. He's a beast. He's relentless, and we all respect him, and we know that that's what he's going to bring every night.
Anyone else? Left here.
For both guys, the post game after last year's loss to Michigan State, was that the most somber you've been, and what sort of motivation was that for, not necessarily this game, but for the season ahead?
Anthony.
I think the biggest thing that hit me was we won't be able to play with the seniors on the team anymore. I think having Joe Harris, Akil Mitchell, and Thomas Rogers, and to no longer be able to play with them, I think that was the biggest thing that hit me. And I don't want my time with those guys to end, so I just want to continue to keep playing with them. And I think that when I realized that was the last game I'll be able to play with them, I think that it really hit home. Seeing them tearing up and stuff like that. I think that was probably the biggest thing that impacted me. And I don't want to see Darion Atkins or Malik Frazier or Rob Zinale go out like that. And I just want to continue to just keep playing with them, for as long as I can.
Justin.
Anthony hit it right on the head. The senior class is always their leadership and their ability to have an effect on the younger guys. I know in particular being a guard, with much respect to Akil and Thomas, but being a guard, Joe Harris kind of took me under his wing my freshman year and kind of showed me the ropes. And to realize that was my last game playing with him, and just seeing how hard he did everything and how great he was at doing the little things. It was kind of like my hero, and it was sad for that day to come and for us to lose a game that close that we really wanted and we thought we had a chance to win. It was very emotional, but at the same time it was very hopeful because we understood that those guys laid a foundation that was going to be one to compete with, and we wanted to make sure that we wouldn't let them down by this year and years to come.
Nope. Anybody else? Getting to our left.
Anthony, is the physical matchup the type that you kind of relish or look forward to, as opposed to maybe a team that's more of a finesse type of group, or does it matter? I'm curious.
It doesn't really matter to me. I just think that I'm a physical player. I like to draw contact and things of that nature. So depending on whether they're going to be physical with me or they're not going to be physical with me, it doesn't really matter. I'm seeking the contact regardless.
To our right.
Guys, last year they held you to, I think, 35% shooting. What did you learn from that game against Michigan State, and what do you got to do differently this time around?
Justin.
We got to shoot the ball better. Maybe the rims at MSG were a little tight. Carmelo Anthony wasn't even scoring that well on those rims that year, but we feel good. We have confidence in our coaches. They prepared us really well. And we have full confidence in our offense. So even though that stat was bad for us last season, hopefully I'm not speaking too soon and something crazy like that happens tomorrow. But we have full confidence in our shooting, and I think we're going to come out with that confidence.
Anthony.
I think that we probably would have to execute on the offensive end a lot better. I think that we need to hit them with screens. You know, they were physical with us last year, and we kind of took a step back. And I think we need to come out with the same physicality that they had last year with us, and we need to do it this year in this game. And just knowing the kind of team that they are, they pride themselves on physicality and tough defense, and we're going to have to be ready for that.
Middle of the room.
Joe Menzer, Bleacher Report. Did you guys talk a little bit about Brogdon, not just as a player, but he seems to be kind of an interesting guy. I mean, just told me about his plan to, wipe out poverty, and he's got a lot of big plans after basketball, I guess. Could you just talk about him as a person and a player?
Justin.
Well, he's different, and if I had, and when I say that, it could come off bad, but I don't mean that at all. I wish I had an hour to talk to you about how amazing he is on and off the court with his work ethic, not only on the court but in the classroom with his interactions with people. He's a great role model. He's someone that you want your son to look up to and be around, just because he's always setting the right example, and he's just working as hard as he can to achieve whatever goals that he puts out for himself. So I wish I had more time to talk about just the little things that he does that helps us grow as people and helps us grow as a basketball team. And I think that's what makes this group special, is we have a lot of individuals like him.
Anthony.
Like Justin said, he's an amazing person, and I wish I had an hour to talk to you. I get to live with him, and just to be able to interact with him on a daily basis is awesome. All of my roommates, is just awesome to be able to just do life with them, and it's just great. And if I had an hour to talk to you, I would tell you a whole bunch of stories about him, but I don't think that he would want me to put those stories in the media, so I'm just going to keep my mouth closed on those.
Can you guys ask Anthony to name his roommates?
My roommates are Darius Thompson, he's sitting out this year, Devin Hall, London Parentis, wow, I just went blank, and Malcolm. Did I forget anybody?
DA.
Oh, yeah, I already said Darion Atkins. That's my favorite roommate.
Did you guys notice anything about that? Yeah.
Justin didn't want to live with us this year. He wanted to be outside the basketball group, so I think that speaks to his character and his lack of teammate-ness.
Justin, rebuttal.